Hey everybody, welcome to my green pets. Long time no see. I'm William Green. Back from my travels. Had a wonderful time in France. I took my mom to France for 9 days. And then I went on to London where a dear friend of mine from 20 years ago got married. And there were several of us who had not seen each other in that many years. We all got together for the wedding. It was really, really nice. I also had a chance to go to Kew Gardens in London, which was a fantastic experience. So that place is like a museum of critically endangered or extinct plants. It is really fascinating. They have specimens that just they don't exist anywhere else in the world. They don't exist in the wild at all anymore. Very cool. I met an orchid grower in England as well who showed me his Cattleya collection. Every windowsill in the house full of classic species Cattleya. Excellent, excellent breeding. Just amazing plants. And yeah, I saw my very first orchids that I got back in like 2012. My friend's still keeping them alive, and I was so sorely tempted to take a bulb or a little division or something with me in my suitcase and try to bring it back, but I think I made peace with it, you know. I think I was like, you know, it's okay. It's okay. And they may not have made it back through customs and all that kind of stuff anyway. So I came back to my collection looking pretty darn good. A lot of things in spike. Flowers are on the way. The autumn bloomers are stepping up as the summer bloomers have finished. So let's see what's going on with the collection today. All right, pretty exciting. Right now we got Cygnocase Hoopery with a nice spike. Developed quite a bit in the past few weeks. There are 9 buds on it, and it looks like there would have been more, but I wasn't here to water every day, and I think it was a little bit dry while I was gone, so it kind of aborted the end of that spike, but it's okay. 9 flowers are still great, and it looks like it's going to be dark already. You can see the color there coming through, so that's exciting. Right next to it, Cygnocase windowsill. Got a nice little spike poking out here. And I expect to have a nice few flowers, maybe not too many. It's still quite a small plant, but a few flowers would be nice. Let's see, we've got Hal back here. Hal has been putting out a new growth. So this is his second new growth this summer. That's great. Lots of new roots. Hopefully the new growth is going to put out even more roots, and Hal will have lots and lots of roots, big fat bulbs, and maybe he'll think about blooming again one of these days. We got RLC Jessie Lee, kind of hiding down here, and Jessie Lee, you can't really see it, but inside that sheath, when the light's behind it, there is a little bit of a shadow. So I'm hoping that we will see at least 1 or 2 flowers on Jessie Lee in the next couple months. She is a fall bloomer, so that would be right about on time for her. And let's see, let's pass over to this side. We've got Bobofilmlepidum put out a flower before I left, actually, and it's got another spike coming on the newest growth. You probably can't see it, but it will be popping up soon. Very, very pretty little thing. And let's see. Oh, well, the star of the show right now. I've moved it actually into away from the window there. This is Cattleya maxima. This is the caerulea variety, or caerulea variety, and it's got from what I can tell, it's got 5 spikes coming up. So all of these sheaths have got, you can see the dark shadows inside, and some of them I think you can even see the buds. But, ooh, kind of rocking back and forth there. But yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's a fifth one down here even. It's got little buds in it. So that's super exciting. And what's been interesting was that 2 of these sheaths grew over the winter, and then these other 2 grew this past spring, several months later, and they're all going to bloom at the same time. That's pretty cool. So last year I made a big mistake when this thing bloomed. I sprayed it with Physan 20, or no, it was Phyton 27, that copper-based fungicide. I just kind of had sprayed everything in the collection with it, and it destroyed the flowers. So I'm not going to do that this year. I'm going to let them bloom out, and I'm hoping for lots of flowers per spike and just a really amazing show from this plant. Really, really hoping for that. Let's see what else is going on. Cali walkeriana is actually, it's completed 2 bulbs this summer, put out some roots, still working on new roots as well. And then right down here you can see this one's got a new growth pushing out. I don't know if that's going to be a new growth or maybe it's going to try to bloom. But anyway, it's crawling out of its pot. Seems to be doing okay. Leaves are pretty firm. So that's alright. In terms of the seedlings, we've got Cattleya hardiana right here, putting out its newest leaf, nice and big there. This is in a clay pot that does not have holes on the side, but it's just rocks in the bottom, granite rocks, and then a little bit of sphagnum on top. These are all my Dawiana rositas right here, these 4. They really kind of grow sideways. It's interesting, the leaves don't grow up towards the light, they just kind of grow sideways. But these are looking okay. This one really has put out a big leaf. Then beside it we've got some regular, well not regular, these are Dawiana aureas, as are these, the yellow form. Cattleya blasfeldiana, slowly but surely putting out larger and larger leaves, sticking to the pot. They're kind of stuck in there now, that's good. And then all the little Rex seedlings. I did have a couple losses over the 3 weeks that I was gone. I think water kind of got into some of these little crevices and caused leaves to turn black, and in some cases the whole little seedling turned black, and so I pulled those out. And but honestly, really not too worried about it. Still got tons of them. This one especially is coming up really nice and big. That's just a few growths away from being bloom size, I think, actually. So those are really looking good. And these are, let's see, these were deflasked in May of 2021. So it's been about a year and a half-ish since they were deflasked. My next flask of Rexes from my own cross, this was Inti by Cattleya, and those are going to be shipped out from Troy Myers, I think, actually this coming week. So I should be getting a package in the mail in the next week or so with Rexes of my own breeding. Wow, I can't believe this. Here we are 10 years later, and I've got my own, well, 8 years later. And wow, that's the circle of life, right? It's been amazing. My little mounted Rexes, the ones that are stuck to this piece of antler here, doing pretty well, bigger and bigger, growing slowly but steadily. And a little chunk of ball moss I glued on there as well. So that is pretty exciting. This big pot with 2 Rexes in it had 3 flower spikes on it while I was gone, and my plant sitter thankfully sent me a picture of it, but I didn't get to see it in bloom. This is the 2nd year in a row I haven't got to see this particular plant in bloom in person. So it, 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 it tends to bloom in the beginning of August, so I guess I'm going to have to be here if I want to see it. Oh, one more thing. This is Vanda falcata Hakusan, and Hakusan got an AM AOS Award of Merit back in June, and the award has finally been posted. So I'm very happy to have that, and hopefully get the certificate in the mail soon. All right. The watering system. The watering system has needed some adjustment. It Something wasn't right in the way that the timer was set, and so my plant sitter had to work on it while I was gone. It kind of messed up the night before I left, and I thought that I had fixed it, but I'm still not 100% sure on what was going wrong or maybe what the settings were. So I need to look at that again. The directions are very confusing to me, unfortunately, so I might have to get some help with that. Okay, let's have a look at the plants in the windowsill, and that will be it. All right, here's the windowsill plants. Look at this. Cattleya miniata looks absolutely gorgeous. It's got 4 or 5 little offsets that it's put out this year. Can't wait until all of them are big enough to bloom and we get several bloom spikes coming out of this pot. I don't intend to repot this thing for a long time. It's just potted in orchid bark, and I've got holes in the bottom of the pot all along the circumference, and I water it when the pot is light. And it can take, when it gets a really good watering, it can take a couple weeks for the thing to finally dry out. So I really am careful about not overwatering it. This is my Malaxis ophrydis, kind of gotten turned into this weird thing. And then my 3 little paths that I've held on to, try to keep them alive. Look like we've got some new growth, but with the new growth sometimes comes the older leaves dying off, so I'm going to try to fertilize them a little bit more. This is a little succulent from the Monterey Succulent Garden, Monterey Bay Nursery. And this thing has tried to bloom 4 or 5 times this summer, and every time the spike has died. Whenever it touches the window, the tip of it dies. So I'm finally home, and I can turn it so that the spike won't touch the window. Maybe it'll actually flower. And then finally, the big Phalaenopsaurus. I experienced a bit of a dry spell while I was gone as well. I repotted it into this big thing. Doesn't really look that pretty, but I just wanted it in something that it could like put its roots in, and I could spray water all over it. I get water everywhere, and I've turned the thing away from the window so that then this newest spike will go that way, and then once it gets over here so far, I'll turn it back around, and then it'll have to come back, so I won't end up with a flower spike that's going halfway across the room. Okay, that's it. I appreciate you guys checking in on me. Some of you followed along on Instagram. I posted a few pictures here and there of my travels, and I'm back. School started on Wednesday this past week. I went to bed at 8 o'clock every night. I am worn out, so it's going to be another interesting year in middle school. Hope you guys are doing well, and I wish you happy growing. Have a great week, and I'll see you next time on My Green Pets. I'm William Green. Bye.